let's compare Bill Gates and Silvio Santos. So Bill Gates and Silvio Santos, they have one thing in common. They are very rich men. Both Bill Gates and Silvio Santos, they are very rich men, but not at the same level. Although they are both rich, we use the same adjective to describe them as rich. They are not rich at the same level. Bill Gates is on a higher level. So what I would say is Silvio is not as rich as Bill. And this means they are not rich. I'm talking specifically rich at the same level. Let's see some more examples here. A BMW and a Ferrari, they have one thing in common, which is they are both expensive. So a Ferrari is very expensive and the BMW is very expensive, but not at the same level. So what I would say is the BMW is not as expensive as a Ferrari. Expensive, yes, for both. At the same level, no. All right. We are using negatives here. Let's use some affirmatives. For example, let's say Disney is good, but that's not a good example. Or the beach in Miami, that's a good example. The beach in Miami is good, but the beach in São Sebastião is also good. So Miami and São Sebastião beach. What am I doing here? São Sebastião beach. They are both good. And for the sake of this lesson, let's say they are good at the same level, which I think they are, honestly. I would not go to Miami just to go to the beach. I think the beach here in São Sebastião is fine. I like it. It's good. São Sebastião, Miami, same level. So what I would say is Miami beach is as good as São Sebastião beach. Same level of good. One is good, the other is good, at the same level. Another thing is, I would say Giselle is as tall as I am. Giselle Bündchen. What do you understand if I say Giselle is as tall as I am? You understand that in terms of tall, we are at the same level. In terms of rich, she's much more. In terms of beautiful, much more. But in terms of tall, we are at the same level. One thing, we are at the same level. Giselle is as tall as I am. Or I am as tall as Giselle. It doesn't matter the order here. Let's see some more examples that you've probably seen in your class. So, just reviewing, SS established that the adjective levels are the same for both. The adjective levels. This is the one part. There are two things that most people confuse. One is it's the same level for that adjective. That's one thing. The other I'll tell you in a minute. She is as cold as ice. When I say she is as cold as ice, what you understand is she is cold. She's a very cold woman, and ice is cold at the same level. So she is as cold as ice. The thing that most people forget to do is to use the first S. You have to use it twice. As cold as ice. Many people say she's cold as ice. That is wrong. You cannot say she is cold as ice. You must say she is as cold as ice. That establishes the same level. Ice is very cold. She's very cold. At the same level, she's as cold as ice. Now look at these cars here. Beetle is very slow car, right? But the old Beetle, the new Beetle is amazing, but the old Beetle is a very slow car. And this car here, in terms of slow, they are at the same level. In terms of slow, maybe this is better or worse, but in terms of slow, they are at the same level. So this car is as slow as a Beetle. Same level. This car is very slow. Beetle is very slow. At the same level. Now look at these two guys here. This guy here is Pedro. This guy here is Oscar. They are tall. Like Giselle and I, they are tall at the same level. So I say Pedro is as tall as Oscar. Look at these two watches here. They are expensive, but expensive at the same level. Brantley is as expensive as a Rolex. Hard, duro. A rock is very hard, and this candy is hard at the same level. So this candy is as hard as a rock. As far as I can see is, for example, is he coming? As far as I can see, no. So I can see, in my case, I wear glasses, so I cannot see very far. But let's say I can see 1 kilometer, and in this kilometer, the same level. I don't see anything. As soon as possible, what is possible? Is it possible today? So, same level, today. Is it possible tomorrow? So, tomorrow, as soon as possible. Now, the and the has the same idea, but instead of stating that the both adjectives are at the same level, what you say is when you change one, you change the other immediately. So if it's more this, it's immediately more that. If it's less this, it's immediately less that. That's it. You change one and you change the other. So, for example, the more the more I travel, the more I get culture. So what you see here is immediately when I change this, I change this. The more I travel, the more I get cultured. I change one, I change the other. So if I travel much more, I will be much more cultured. That's the idea. Same thing as the other one. You cannot forget the and the twice. The more I travel, the more I get cultured. Not the more I travel, more I get cultured. No, the more, the more. If the adjective is short, like big, for example, then you would say something like this. the bigger, simple comparative, the bigger the house, because in this case it will not say the more big the house. It's wrong. So the bigger the house, the more junk, tranqueira, the more junk you have. The bigger the house, the more junk you have. So it's proportional. That was the and the says. The and the says that you establish that one adjective will change the other proportionally. So if you make the house bigger, you will have more junk. And junk is tranqueira, bobagem. The more one happens, the more the other happens also. Let's see some examples here. The more money I make, the more problems I have. I disagree with this. I think it's the opposite. But that's what the sentence says. If you have more money, look what happens to your problems. The more I eat chocolate, the more I get fat. And that's proportional. If you eat much more chocolate, you will get much fatter. The more I pray, the more ghosts I see. That's the Portuguese. Quanto mais eu rezo, mais assombração eu vejo. So the more I pray proportionally, the more ghosts I see. So establishes that one adjective will change the other. The same as establishes equality. For example, this is Avenida Paulista a long time ago, and this is Avenida Paulista today. The same, right? So I say this avenue is the same as I remember. It has not changed. Now let's talk about a little bit about negatives. The same things, but negatives. She is as cold as ice. That was the first example back there. But this woman is not as cold as ice. So before you say as something, you use not. That's it. That's all. So for example, I am as tall as Giselle. I am not as tall as Oscar or Oscar. I am not as tall as Magic Johnson. I am not as tanana as tanana. That's all. This car is not as low as a Beetle. This is what I believe. The more money I make, the less problems I have. So what you do here, you change more to less. It's the same idea, but the more money I make, the less problem I have. The more I work, the less I have energy. The more I pray, the less ghosts I see. The more I study English, the less problems I have. Because when you study English, doors open. Alright, so this house, a long time ago. This is a long time ago. And this is today. So this is how I remember the house a long time ago. Today, changed. Not the same. So what I would say is this street or this house is not, just put not, the same as I remember. Alright, so let's take a look at the exercises here. I don't want to do the exercise for you, but I want to do a quick demonstration here of the exercises with you. Let's take a look at the first example here. I'm quite tall. Alright, first, let me talk to you about this quite tall here. So, of course, you can say that you are very tall. And on this scale here, you can say you are extremely tall, you are too tall, You can say that you are a little tall, and more or less here you'll say that you are quite tall. Not very, but almost very. Moving on. I'm quite tall, but you are taller. So that's me. I'm tall. And look at my wife. Huh? Huh? I'm tall. But then, what happens? I meet Magic Johnson. And the guy is gigantic. So that's me. That's Magic Johnson. The guy is gigantic. I am tall, but look at him. So I say I'm quite tall, but you are taller. I am not as tall as you, meaning not at the same level. Okay, now let's compare salaries. This is gonna be fun. So this is my salary. Huh? Good, huh? You look at my salary and you say, wow, he's doing all right. But then this is your salary. Fat, high. So this is your salary. What do I say? I say my salary is high. Okay, but yours is higher. So my salary isn't as high as yours. Let's continue with the next example here. You know a bit is like a little. You know a bit about cars, but I know more. You know, but I know more. So you don't know as much as I know. It is still cold, but it was colder yesterday. So it isn't as cold as yesterday. So by this point you get the idea. This is all negative. All you have to do is you put not or don't, depending if it's a verb, adjective, not, don't, isn't, and then you put as ta-na-na, as ta-na-na. Jack is younger than he looks. I'm here. Jack is younger than he looks. Jack isn't as old as he looks. I didn't spend as much money as you. This is how much money you spent. This is me. I didn't spend as much money as you. So you spent more money than me. You spent more money than me. The station was nearer. Near is an adjective. Nearer than I thought. The station wasn't what? As near as I thought. The station wasn't as near as I thought. The medal didn't cost as much as I expected. The medal didn't cost as much as I expected. I said the medal, but I made a mistake. It's actually the meal. So the meal didn't cost as much as I expect. So this is how much I expected the meal to cost. This is the meal. I expect the meal to cost 10. But it was actually 7. Marmitex. Simple meal. So the meal didn't cost as much as I expect. The meal cost less than I expected. Less. More, less. The meal it costed less than I expected. Okay, we did 4 here. You can do the other 4s. Okay, let's move on. Now, for the next exercise, you have to choose one of them. So, bad, I'm sure you understand bad. Comfortable, it's like in Portuguese. Fast, rápido. Long, long can be longo. And long you also can use for time. For example, how long have you studied here? How long can be for time? Often, that's frequent. How often, or this is often, it means high frequency. Quietly, soon, breve. Well, bem, well qualified, bem qualificado. So let's do some here together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's do 4 together. I'm sorry, I'm a bit late. I got here as fast as I could. So, done with fast. It was a difficult question. I answered, na. I answered, na. I could. It was a difficult question. I answered, na. I could. I would say, well as I could. So, one less. How long can I stay with you? You can stay tempo que você quiser. So, you can stay as long as you like. Number 4. I need the information quickly. So please let me know possible. Soon. Let me know as soon as possible. So we're done with this one here. The rest is with you. Let's move on to the next one. Write the sentences using the same as. So Sally and Kate are both 22 years old. 22, 22. Equal. So Sally is the same age as Kate. You and I both have dark brown hair. Your hair equal is the same as my hair. The same as. This is the point here. The same as. Equal. Now we did 2 together. You do the other 2. Final exercise. Complete the sentences with than or as. Okay. So number 1 here. I can't reach as high as you. You are taller than me. Reach is this. I can reach here. Another person can reach here. So I can reach the lens. I cannot reach the wall. It's impossible. No, I cannot reach the wall. He doesn't know much. I know more. What do you think? He doesn't know much. I know more than he does, or than him. Both are correct. Number 3, I don't work particularly. Particularly is, no meu caso especialmente, I don't work particularly hard. Most people work as hard as I. Or as me. I think as me. Yes. It's better. So you do number 4, 5, and number 6. If you don't understand something, have any question, don't hesitate. Send me a video. Oh, I send you the video. You send me the question. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.